I guess Amir was like the first person that I found that was interested in the same thing I was interested in, which was just getting out and performing and having no clue what we were going to do before we hit the stage, and it was just all completely improvised when we first started the band. And we got this guy, Adam, to play with us at our first, he was there at the very first show. We just kind of called him, I think, that day or the day before, and he just showed up and played with us, having no clue what we were going to do, and then we just kind of, kept on jamming. Daniel was actually living in New York at that time, and we had actually been speaking about playing in a band together before he even moved out to New York, and so he came back. I don't know why he came back, but we got together and jammed just for like one day, and it was amazing. All four of us, we had a really good time playing together, and it was pretty good chemistry. So
basically just to do everything that I had ever dreamed of for being in a band, just doing basically like free form, going with just whatever we feel sounds good, not really listening to any like particular leaders, working as a whole group. And in this case it started out as me and Jeff, so just working as one collective mind, putting our heads together, and just basically just taking it as far as we could. And I'm just really happy with where it's going and where I think it's going. It's pretty hard to categorize. People ask all the time, right after they ask what the band's called, they ask what does it sound like, and I'm pretty happy to not be able to really just throw out a band name, because I actually I can't. I can throw out influences here and there, but I think that's what makes us really special, is that we have this unique sound.
I definitely started off primarily percussion, auxiliary percussion, congas and djembe and tambourine, keeping it simple. And then I moved into adding more toys and random sounds, and claves and shakers. There's even a funny little frog I kind of added in there. It's a wood block frog. And then I started to pick up the bass when we added Daniel to the band, because he was able to bring in more of obviously a rhythmic feel on the drums. A
lot of our stuff, it comes from improv. We've got certain ideas that we go through when we're playing. Basically, they all came about just from us sitting in a room together and just playing and not worrying about it, and then we just recorded ourselves and listened back to it, and parts that really got us all excited about it, we tried to recreate.
Right, and it seems like every time that we do play them, they're a little different, and there's a lot of improvisation within that structure, which is usually just a bass line and a rhythm. Sometimes maybe a change, like a chorus. If basically when we're done playing, when everyone just quiets down and we all just kind of look at each other, and we're just like, yeah, that's the goal, is to just get that, reach that high peak.
The jam kind of revolves around this feeling, and like what Amir was saying at the end, we finally kind of feel like it came to a boil and started simmering down, and we'll look at each other and we'll just be enveloped in this feeling.
So every show is different. Like the show I saw last time was, compared to this one, was completely different.
It was a world of a difference.
I think we have Daniel to thank for that.
Yeah.
And just the addition of having a little bit of structure is nice. I mean, when it comes down to any improv band that you go and see, I mean, there's some sort of structure there.
In terms of structure, I think we're open to having more structure at certain shows, less structure at certain shows. Some shows we might just go out and once again just play without having any idea what we're going to do.
The success for me personally, and I feel for the others in the band, is just people showing up and just telling you afterwards, wow, that was amazing, and you just have they have a look in their eyes where that they're not just telling you that, Randy.
That's probably the good thing about playing at a place like the Hangar, because there's going to be a lot of open-minded people there, and not the typical bands or
typical venue.
Yeah,
right.
It's not like playing at a club on the Sunset Strip or anything, where Amir's right, you do hear a lot of the same thing happening over and over again. So think venues like the Hangar are pretty cool.
There's definitely an openness to self-expression for a place like the Hangar, and I think that kind of mirrors itself when you think about this underground scene that we're kind of aiming to be, I guess you could say, be a part of. You know, there's also a general level of acceptance that you get from being in this scene. There is an underground jam scene. There's an underground hip hop scene. There's an underground alternative scene. You get that openness from other people. I mean, people are willing to cross over and take a listen.